Looks like we are live. I don't know. Okay. Okay.
Would they like?
Yeah, I think.
You think or just on a day like I know about you don't can catch me off guard.
SS, just be ready because I
What?
think we are.
No, we say it's 5 minutes now.
Sisi, did you post it?
I'm trying to go live video.
Okay, because it's showing live on Facebook,
I
but
just give me.
okay. I don't know God, I chop my granola.
Gavin, can you connect me to the print, please? I need to print something very fast. We'll start, please.
Okay, I think we are on now. In 5 minutes. We are on. SS.
I don't know God, I chop my granola.
Okay.
Can you print from the printer? From your laptop? From your laptop, can you print here? I think that's how to print. Can you print from the printer? From your laptop? From your laptop, can you print here? I think that's how to print.
I have no idea why this.
Yeah, we are live. We are live.
Yeah, I think so. So please, woman of God, can you please not call? We are live already. We're just trying to try test.
Yeah, we are live.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. So please, woman of God, can you please not call? We are live already. We're just trying to try test.
Yeah, we are live. Okay, guys. So we are live, and there's a noise in the background. I don't know if somebody has two computers or have two devices opened. So if we can, yeah, that's better.
I don't know. Can you see us all on the screen from your end, Abu Free?
Yes.
Can you see us all on the screen?
Yes, ma'am. We can see that.
Okay, great. Is woman of God available? Is she on? Because
no, she's not on, but we'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Over to you.
Fellow Ambazonians, happy Sunday. This is Abu Free right here, and today we have another show for you. Talking about the UNPO that we have coming up this week. But before we go ahead and dive into the conversation, we are going to start with the national anthem, as we always do it. Sisi, can you go ahead and do us the honor?
Okay. Okay. Are we good? I'm not sure I'm seeing, sir. Okay. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians, we pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son, our Savior, who granted us a freedom. Allegiance to the heroes who bore the land with their blood. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Yea, in a nation flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, shall be the destiny our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of His nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you can be the destiny our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God, King, watchman of His nation.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Spokes. Thank you. Thank you for honoring us with that beautiful anthem of ours, as it spells out the words that we are so seeking for. Fellow viewers, thank you for joining us today. Again, another Sunday of another episode with your ladies, your Amber ladies, or your Amber Deborah ladies. As you can see, we have a male or a man or a strong Amber man with us today. So if you're just joining, please go ahead and share. Today's topic is going to be very interesting. We need our people to know why we are in UNPO or why we need to be UNPO. So please, if you're just joining, go ahead and share. But before we go ahead and start, I'm going to ask my fellow panelists to go ahead and introduce themselves, starting with they say ladies before gentlemen. So starting with the able spokeslady, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Abu Free. Hey, Ambazonians, this is your comrade, Amabo Cecilia Binwi. Like you know, I'm the spokesperson for AGC. Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. All right. The Honorable Secretary of State, please go ahead and introduce yourself. And you're muted, so if you can unmute yourself, please.
Hello, Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians. Good evening, everybody. And my beautiful Amber ladies and at home and abroad, thank you for the opportunity. I'm Lawrence Ayamba. They call me Larry Ayamba. I'm the Secretary of State of the AGC, and the first Ambazonia ambassador to the UNPO. Well, we'll get to know more as we proceed. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Secretary of State. Thank you for joining us today. We are hoping to have a very, very informative session today as we talk about the UNPO project that we have coming up. And so not to waste our viewers' time, we are going to go ahead and dive into it. So, Able Secretary, I'm going to start with you. Can you please give us a brief summary of what UNPO is all about?
Let me say UNPO stands for the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization. And it is an international, non-violent and democratic organization. Its members are indigenous people from minorities and unrecognized states and or occupied territories who are struggling or advocating for their self-independence or for their self-determination. UNPO is a very, very, very powerful international non-governmental organization, which, when properly utilized, will assist or has been assisting a lot of countries. To name a few of them, we know about Eritrea, we know about Latvia, we know about Taiwan, or is it Taiwan, Thailand, and a host of others. That East Timor, okay, who used to be members of UNPO, and they finally got their independence. So the main objectives in a nutshell as enshrined in the UNPO Charter as their objectives. They have 5 principal objectives. The first one, as I just said, is non-violent. 2, they are based on human rights. 3, democracy and self-determination. 4, environmental protection. And the 5th one is tolerance. Okay, and UNPO has a lot of advantages that we can tap from. For example, you guys already see, as we are members of the UNPO, they are already aiding Ambazonia to organize a mega demo on October 1 to commemorate the independence of Ambazonia. Those are just, in a nutshell, what we can gain from the UNPO. There are a lot of things to gain: training, advocacy, and so on, just to name a few. Well, we'll get into more details as we go ahead. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, SS. Spokeslady, do you have anything to add to what the SS just said?
Well, just like the SS said, this is this organization is actually, we want to say this is an opportunity that Ambazonians have gotten as far as this struggle is concerned, because through the same organization, we can participate in several international conferences and activities that can as well showcase our current situation to the world. And we are actually honored to be part of this organization. And as he said, we are actually going, the inaugural is coming up, and we should be proud to be part of this organization that represents unrepresented people. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I'm actually excited about this, and I am so disappointed in myself because I was supposed to be there this weekend or this coming weekend, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I just cannot be there. But I trust each and every one of you all that will be out there supporting our comrades or supporting our people on the ground, that you do a fabulous job to carry this through. Secretary of State, you did mention that some of the, I know you listed about 5 objectives that underlies UNPO's operation: non-violence, democracy, and something, I forgot that one. You talked about human rights violation, environmental something, and then environmental protection and something, I forgot that. Tolerance, yeah, thank you, that's it. So looking at some of these 5 objectives and looking at non-violence and human rights violation. Now, given that we are in a situation where violence is being perpetrated on our people, we have a whole, bunch of human rights violations. We've seen our people being killed, summarily executed. We've seen girls raped and things like that. So, being a member of UNPO, what are they going to do to make sure that things like these are properly addressed?
Oh, that's a very nice question, and I think we are also glad that the facilitating Amazonian organization at the UNPO has a human rights department. And what the UNPO is doing on our behalf is to X-ray the bunch of human rights atrocities and violations committed on Ambazonia by the dictatorial regime of Biya and Bimvondo to the international community. There's a lot of sensitization going on in the International Human Rights Organization, like the Amnesty International, Article 9, and even the UN Human Rights Council. That's why the upcoming UN Human Rights Council, which will be taking place from the 12th to the 13th of September, there is a site event that has been organized by UNPO and her sister organization, which is the
Society for
Threatened Peoples. And the Society for that is, and this time is the women. It's going to expose a lot of the different human rights violations on the Ambazonian people, but this time with specifications only on women. We have also, the UNPO have also assisted Ambazonia to present their case during the UPRO session. And as you people know, you saw the different reactions from different international, different countries, like from the Americans, the British, the Australians, the Finnish, and so on and so on. It was really, I mean, they were really exposed. Another thing we do is the UNPO gives us the opportunity for Ambazonians themselves to articulate the depth of the human rights violations on their people to especially permanent members of the Human Rights Council, or the policy makers of the Human Rights Council. And these are the people, the policy makers, who are those who will take those recommendations up there to the decision makers in the United Nations and the United Nations Security Council. So there's a lot our membership to UNPO is doing for us at this particular time, with all what is going on in our territory. I happened to speak to even today, Sunday, I spoke to one of the permanent members, and because I shared the video which is widely circulating, where the killing of the young man by the barrage of bullets. And he said the thing they told us is we have to always be careful. We're going to send it for forensics, and we have to authenticate it and know where it. So it happened with the other videos, the killing of the mothers and children. They have to take it from us. They have to authenticate it, and it was proven that it's La République du Cameroon. Now, don't get us wrong. People say, but it's not in Ambazonia. Give me a break. If it's happening in the north of Cameroon, what we and me and you and others know, it is even worse in Ambazonia. So right. That's exactly what I told them. Well, in a nutshell, those are some of the advantages we gain as far as human rights is concerned, and our membership to the UNPO is concerned. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, SS. So this is a follow-up question, and Spokes, you can answer this if you want to. So with regards to, human rights, I'm going back to human rights. With regards to human rights, given that UNPO has worked with several countries, for example, Eritrea, East Timor, Taiwan, and so on and so forth, was there ever a case in any one of these countries that UNPO was able to address an issue regarding human rights violation when they were fighting for their independence?
Well, Abu Frey, that is a very a technical question, but from what we know so far is that if you hear what the UNPO does, you will know that they actually try to represent those nations that do not have seats within the United Nations. They speak, they make sure that the voices of these people are actually heard within the United Nations. And any country that is a member of UNPO, of course, has received the utmost support of UNPO through the protests, through writing of letters, through participating in international conferences, and to make sure that these people's voices are heard, to be represented well within the United Nations. So any country that has been a member within UNPO that has today gotten its independence, you can be rest assured that UNPO gave them the maximum support that they needed, speaking on the cases of the human rights violations at the United Nations level and any other international organization that is dealing with human rights violations that need to be contacted to make sure that these people's voices are actually heard. So there is no organization or there is no country that has passed through UNPO and has gotten its independence that UNPO has not actually stood out to fight for it at all levels where power is being controlled. So just like we are going in today, UNPO will be standing with us hand in hand to make sure that our voices are heard and that our case is fully represented within the United Nations. So they have been doing that incredible job to support all the nations that are members within the organization to make sure that the cases of human rights violations that ever came in within the context were properly presented within the United Nations.
Okay, great, thank you. So for those of you that are just joining us, we are currently talking about the UNPO project that we have coming up, or the UNPO organization, and our involvement, Ambazonia's involvement in UNPO. And as you can see, the woman of God, Reverend Immaculate, just joined us. And again, for those of you that are just joining us, we have myself on here. We have Dr. Larry, who is actually the Secretary of State for the AGC. We have spokeslady for AGC, and then we have our able sister, Reverend Immaculate, who just joined us. Thank you for joining, woman of God.
You're welcome, Abu.
Okay, do you have anything to add with regards to this UNPO topic we are talking about today?
I'm actually impressed and very thankful that we have taken this stride to be in the UNPO and accepted in there, because if I can trace back in the day when the Southern Cameroon people back home were fighting, the time they were admitted in the UNPO, the persecution, the weight of the persecution they received from the La Republic government reduced. And they could go to Boya and every 1st of October and have their independence. It is only when I found out that that membership was lost that I now understand why they started arresting them again. So I really know that this is a very big breakthrough for us, that we have an organization like this that can stand with us, that can advocate for us, that can present our case. Because one of the things that we have to understand is that the United Nations as an institution, as an organization, have a structure. And sometimes we can be crying and all they are hearing is yelling. But an organization like this can get into their midst, sit on their table, articulate and present our case file, and it will be clearly understood and it cannot be avoided or ignored.
All right, thank you so much, woman of God. So just because you had mentioned this, woman of God, I want to go back to the SS and ask him this question. Maybe I'm taking us all back, but briefly give us a brief answer of this question I'm about to ask. So we do understand that Southern Cameroons had already been a member within UNPO, and at some point that membership was revoked if I'm right or if I'm correct. So what happened, and what happened with that membership, and how did we find ourselves back into UNPO?
Thank you so much, Madam Private Secretary. I am just so fortunate to have spent my adulthood, my entire adulthood in this struggle. And I want to also say that I have been lucky to be at the forefront of a lot of this stuff. And I was also one of the forefront person who worked so hard to get the SCNC to represent the Southern Cameroons in the UNPO in 2013. I'm sure, is it 2003 or 2004, something like that. Yeah, I don't know the specific dates. It's been a long time. And I was lucky because my late father, may he so rest in peace, His Royal Highness Chief Otunayamba, was the chairperson of the SCNC. And we worked very closely with late Pa Abed Mukong, Dr. Vincent Feko, may their soul rest in peace, Dr. Kelvin Gumye, Dr. Arnold Yomba, and some very few, and some very prominent Ambazonians like Yurima, the IS Che Julius, and a lady who I would really say she did most of the part, even though people are just going up and down, they don't know the genesis of UNPO, Brunhilde. I'm not going to tell the story here, but might be sometime, someday, Ambazonians will want to hear that story. Now, UNPO membership is followed by your annual dues, your annual contributions, and to participate and even have a voting right as a member of the organization. If you remember, Southern Cameroon were voted to the post of the vice presidency of the organization. Dr. Mfonfo was one of the vice presidents of UNPO. And I was very worried because at that time, the leadership that was representing Southern Cameroonians at the UNPO were not really making maximum use of the UNPO. Let me be honest. And we just thought it's like you come, you attend extraordinary meetings, you attend general assemblies, you go for demonstration and so on, and that's it. No, there was a lot to be achieved. Well, I think we learned from that. I'm not criticizing them. And again, don't forget, they were not resident close to the UNPO headquarters, which was at The Hague at the time. We are lucky now that the newly appointed ambassador is residing where the headquarters of the UNPO has been moved to in Brussels. And having meetings and chats and contacts with them is just like a click of a finger. Now, when the chairman died, the chairman of the SCNC died in 2014. The SNC did not pay its annual subscriptions and membership fees. And until 2017, at a certain time, they wrote a lot of letters to UNPO nothing was forthcoming to SCNC, nothing was forthcoming. So SCNC was thrown out of the organization of UNPO. And when the Ambazonia Revolution gathered momentum again in 2016, I, for one, know exactly what we can gain, what Ambazonians can gain from the UNPO. So I started with some information session to really know what transpired, and if there are outstanding debts, how can the Southern Cameroons pay those outstanding debts, and so on, so that we can regain membership back into the UNPO. I organized, I took the contact and we had a couple of meetings, and we were told that yes, we are owing so much. It was close to 14 or 15,000 euro. And I was like, wow, where are we going to get that type of money? And we said, right now, at this time, all Ambazonia liberation forces have come under the umbrella of the consortium, then the SCACUF at the time. And so the lady was like, okay, wait, which means you will not be coming in as SCNC anymore. I said, no, because SCNC is part of SCACUF now. Okay, if that's the case, what you do is you prepare a fresh application, which will pay only an annual contribution, a membership application fee. And if your membership is accepted, you start by paying the membership application. So you see, it was considered as bad debt under SCNC, and we opened a new chapter. And then this was going to be done by SCACUF. SCACUF didn't do it. After 2-3 months, they didn't do it. I don't want to call names because we are trying to unite and collaborate. But irrespective of the initiative some of us took to go through and find out what was going on with our membership at the UNPO, why we lost the membership, are there debts that we can repay and regain our membership? And then we took all this and channeled them to the people in SCACUF to handle it. 2 or 3 months later, somebody I asked for, from the person who is concerned, the person told me that they are not interested because they are following more more diplomatic avenues or opportunities. So to cut a long matter short, we bypassed everybody, the AGC in particular bypassed everybody and went ahead and we introduced an application on behalf of the Ambazonian people, and that's where we are today. You know, the AGC is just the facilitating organization. The AGC has not been admitted into UNPO. Let me be very clear in this. It is not the AGC that has been admitted into the UNPO. It is the people and the state of Ambazonia that has been admitted into the UNPO. And as the ambassador to the UNPO, it embodies every Ambazonia, every group, every person to be involved.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't think sorry I took a lot of your time, but I should have, it was good for me to mention those aspects.
That's okay. I think it actually clarifies the craziness that has been going out there. There's been a lot of rhetoric with regards to how how we found ourselves into UNPO. Regardless, we are in UNPO. That is a good thing. If the whole idea behind it is to represent the people of Southern Cameroon or the people of Ambazonia, that is what matters. That is what matters. It doesn't matter who took us to UNPO or who is representing us in UNPO. The important thing is that the people of Ambazonia are the ones being represented in UNPO. So that is the goal. That is what we are looking for. Going back to the objectives that you had talked about, I remember you talking about non-violence. We know that we, the people of Southern Cameroon, have been going out there with peace plans. We have been talking about our issue as a peaceful people. Never in the day when this thing started did we raise arms. No, we did not. The time came, or it came the time for people to defend themselves, for people to protect their wives, protect their daughters, protect their children from the corrupt and the harmful government of La Republique. Now, UNPO talks about non-violence, okay? And we just look at the incident that happened today in Bamenda, right? Look at the incident that happened, early this morning in Bamenda, where, travelers were heading to different regions in the country, in quotes. I hope everybody understand that. But we all know that who was behind this, and we all know that a young man, if not one, two young people were killed as a result of this. How would UNPO, as an organization that frowns against violence, how would they come in, or if they're going to the United Nations or however they're representing us, how would they channel incidents like these? So, for example, incidences like these that happen just out of the blue, where the military is violates the rights and whatever of our people. Amabo Cecilia, or spokesperson, can you go ahead and tell us how they can respond to this issue of violence within the Southern Cameroons or Ambazonia?
Thank you very much, Abu Frey. Just like the SS has been saying, and in respect to what the question you just asked, this you said UNPO is a non-violence organization, and we have been going out in that way. Well, in cases like this, we should not forget that they are also documenting these incidences, and they are also talking about these incidences, knocking at the right doors to make sure that the incidences that are taking place in Ambazonia are actually looked into, because they go out there within the United Nations and related organizations to talk, to present this carnage that is happening in our territory, to present all these human rights violations that are happening in our territory and all these crimes against humanity that are being committed. Let us not forget that they publicize this thing, they advocate about it, they write petitions about it, they send it to the appropriate bodies, and they make sure they talk with the government to make sure that they desist from committing these crimes. Yes, they actually it's good now that Ambazonia is actually getting in, which will be finalized in few days. So once we are in, they will not be using Ambazonians, they will be pushing Ambazonia ahead, and they'll be using them to stand and present these cases. They'll be opening those doors for them at the high level within the United Nations, within related bodies, to be able to present these cases. And they will stand and speak for us. They do petitions, they sit in the council, and they talk about these violations. So that is the way through which they are representing our people. We sit, at times we talk about these things on the internet, on Facebook, and it just goes around within us and all those things. They tweet about these things. If you go on their Twitter pages, you will see that they are actually tweeting about the killings in Ambazonia and calling out on the appropriate bodies to intercede, to intervene, so that these things will be stopped. So I think that being in this organization and they're representing people like us, they speak more where we cannot actually enter. Those offices where we are limited to go to, they facilitate our entry into those offices and to those bodies to present our cases. I think Dr. Larry can also talk more on that.
Oh, yes. I think as the person in the direct line of fire, I have been asked for explanations several times by the organizations to explain certain issues that have come up of this nature. But we have to be very careful here. Diplomacy is very, very hypocritical. Diplomacy is very, very hypocritical. And I don't know why we cannot, or the international community cannot stop the problem at this stage. I think they want to hear that they have killed up to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 Ambazonians before they jump in, just like it happened in Rwanda. But the human right, the killings and the violations that are going on, we know where it's coming from.
Right.
We know that. That's why when we pick up a piece of evidence, and that's why the Human Rights Department of the AGC is documenting these violations very, very carefully. And I happen to be presenting a paper at the European External Relations External Service, which is like the foreign ministry of the European Union. I warned them that the evidence, the human rights violation evidence and the killings that I'm going to present are very graphic, and they should fasten their seatbelts. When I did, people actually cried, and some of them left the room. And I made them to understand that these are not Photoshop pictures, they are raw images from Ambazonia, committed on Ambazonians by the regime. So this killing, some of them are very senseless, and the regime keeps doing it. And I was asked the question that, oh yes, we have received reports that Ambazonian forces are killing the Republic soldiers. I said, what do you expect? Self-defense is enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations and the United Nations Human Rights Covenant, isn't it? I said, yes. I cannot sit in my home, watch my family being raped, my sister being raped, my mother being raped, and to kill 9 members of my family, and until I have a stick, I will not hit you with it. So the people are defending themselves, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. So they are defending themselves. And that's, like it or not, that's what we are doing. And that's what the people on the ground are doing. Because we cannot tell them to fold their hands and say they are going to take the bull by the horns. And that's exactly what they are doing. So at one point, they were really confused. And I said, listen, except you want to tell me that self-determination, self-defense is out of the question. And I produced a document from the UNPO itself supporting self-defense.
Self-determination.
And so those are some of the things. I don't know if I added more flesh to this one, but those are some of the things. I'm really in the line of fire, and I've received a lot of calls. And guess what? I defend the Ambazonian people to the best of my ability. Thank you.
All right, thank you, SS. Fellow viewers, again, for those of you that are joining, we are talking about UNPO. We have a program coming up this weekend at the UNPO in Savoie, France. And so just to, you know, it is sad that we are here trying to give information about how it will benefit our people. You know, we are talking about these things because we know that it will benefit Ambazonia. That is the reason why some of us, all of us, take time every single day, every minute to talk to our people. But when you sit and you read the things that people write, viewers, I am reading every single word that you are writing, and it is so damaging. It is so damaging to what we are trying to accomplish. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable that people will come out here and sit down to give all of us information on how we can move forward, and we sit and we insult each other. It is unbelievable. What about all our people? What about people like Akum Julius? What about people like Midian? All these young people that have gone through all the craziness of La Republique, and you all come out and you sit and you insult each other. What the heck are we doing? What are we doing? Come on, people. We are in this together. We are in this together. What is wrong with us? Look at the young girls that were asked to wallow in mud. Look at girls that are being raped every single day. Look at our young men that are being slaughtered as if they are dogs. Look at our fathers, our mothers that are being slaughtered. Our country, our infrastructures everywhere is being destroyed just because we are seeking for freedom, and you all, we are on free selves. I don't know how I can call it, but what is happening to our senses of reasoning? What are we doing? Come on, this is not how a people that call themselves a people that call themselves Ambazonians should behave. My people, this is not how we should do it. It baffles me, and it is so sad. This is our opportunity to build. This is our opportunity to empower each other. We cannot go this route. We cannot do this now. This is disturbing. It is so disturbing. Woman of God, please take over.
I really pray to God that this spirit of divisiveness and fighting against one another will cease. That when those who take their hands and put it on their keyboards and start to type insolent things and start to care about their faces and pictures more than our people that have been through the bushes. Can you not just let God touch your heart? How do you imagine that these people survived through the rain in the forest? And do you think that we should, every strike that something has to be done to help our people back, to reduce the suffering, to stop the carnage, to minimize the casualty, has to be fought because you think you hate some particular persons or you don't like some faces that you see? Please get over that. We are humans. Let's be human. Be human enough to have empathy. Be human enough. Be human enough to show compassion. Be human enough to show compassion. If one of those children in the forest was you, how will you feel? Be human enough to show compassion. And so instead of you typing those insolent messages, can you take your time and share this so it can go far and wide, and invite other people to watch and listen and learn, so that you can know how much progress we are making, and so that it can give hope to our people that we are doing something, we are getting somewhere. This is supposed to be a selfless, free will commitment of all of us, because we are in the diaspora in such a time as this, to be the Joseph of Ambazonia, to be those people who will bring hope, to be those people who will say, please, the night will be over. Please, can we all join forces to be that light that shines through this night for our people until the cock crows and it's a new dawn for our nation, Ambazonia. When I look at how the UNPO, they have put us on their website, we are enshrined like a project in the heart of the UNPO, and they have narrated our story, and they have presented our utmost desire as to be free. Let's come to terms with the fact that it can take you, it can take me, it can take anybody to do something. Don't fight things. We are in an emergency. We're never going to get consensus to do everything. Just like our brother explained, if they had to keep waiting for the consensus ever since they asked Kakuf to do and they didn't do it, if they had to keep waiting for the consensus up till now, we'll go nowhere. Why are we treating our emergency as if it is a sidewalk in the park? It is not. It's an emergency. So if you have a bucket of water to quench that fire, don't ask for somebody's permission to quench the fire. Quench the fire, give us feedback. And when people do quench fire and come to give feedback, please, fellow Ambazonia, learn to appreciate, learn to take advantage of the good things that people do, and stop wanting to batch on people, wanting to post that your message at all costs. But at the same time, I'm not blaming you for this. But I am saying you have the responsibility to emancipate yourself from that mindset that La Republique had given us, that makes us so passive, that makes us so rocket. I just want us to know that we are going through an emancipation process. And yes, it is heartbreaking when you see those comments coming up, when you try to make things work, when you're working to make sure that people feel that there is hope. But you know what? Above all things, God will be in it. But ask yourself, what role am I playing? When we go back to this history, years from now, will I be on the wrong side or on the right side of history? Always ask yourself this question, and always let your conscience guide you.
Woman of God, thank you so much. Sorry about the outburst. I was just, folks, can you please go ahead and tell us what is going to be happening in Savoie this weekend?
I will prefer to talk about the site event in Geneva, and I'll allow the ambassador to talk about Savoie, because he will definitely be in Savoie representing the almighty Ambazonia. So
all right.
If you want us to first of all talk about Savoie, I will kindly lead that you channel it to the ambassador, and I would love to talk about the site event that is coming up before Savoie.
Okay, SS, over to you.
Okay. Savoie, it's the D-Day, September 14 and 15. Ambazonia will officially
Can you mute? Woman of God, can you mute? Thank you.
So sorry about that. September the 14th and 15th, Ambazonia will officially become a member of the UNPO. And Ambazonia will be rubbing its shoulders with other member states of the organization, and will be having equal status, will be having a voting power in the council of members as any other member who have been there for the past as long as you can think of. Ambazonia will be having a press conference on Friday the 14th of September, because the state of Savoy, where the extraordinary session of the General Assembly of the UNPO is taking place, is also a member of the UNPO. You know, people have been asking me, oh, it's going to be Nera Hotel 2, Nera Hotel 2, and so on. The French are colonialists. They keep colonizing people. The state of Savoy, though it's part in the Republic of France, it's a member of the Unrepresented Peoples and Nation Organization. And it's a state on its own. It's not a province in France. And so the state of Savoy is organizing a dinner evening where they will be inviting the international press and both written and media will be there. And at the end, the Ambazonia delegation who will be giving a press conference, because we will be like the, how do they call them? The star of the evening. And the Ambazonia flag will be hoisted amongst other member flags. And we will deliver an inaugural address to the UNPO. There are a lot of other things that will take place. We'll be having side meetings with free access to other members and building other contacts, because, you know, it is our first meeting as members. And who knows, the elections coming up at the UNPO. As a member, you have the right to vote and you have the right to be voted for. So those are some of the things that it is a really jam-packed 2 days event. And I just received the meeting pack for that event from, and it is really, really eventful, and we just looking forward to it. We are set and everybody is set, only waiting to travel to Savoy for the upcoming event. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So we do, so we are going to rush a little bit over this. I'm sorry, guys. We have another show coming up in the next 10 minutes with the 6. So we'll, rush over this. So before I come to you, Spokes, let me go back to the SSS and ask if there is any other event happening. Is the UNPO planning like a protest or something with regards to this?
When you mean any other event, what do you mean?
I know that we talked about October 1st or something happening. Is the UNPO planning something for that?
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah. Okay. I thought you were speaking relating to the inauguration. The inauguration finishes on the 15th. And as a member of the UNPO, the UNPO is helping Ambazonians to organize a mega, that's how they put it, a mega demo, with the newfound collaborative and unity that is going on after Washington in front of the White House, the demo in front of the White House. The UNPO has picked up that. We have been preparing it for so long, but Washington came up to just solidify our preparation with the UNPO. As a member of a UNPO, UNPO is going to assist Ambazonians to organize a mega demonstration in front of the European Parliament. The UNPO is going to bring in its member states to swell in the number of participants at the demo. They have already applied for the permit and everything is going on as planned. I want to appeal in this platform and those watching and other social media activists, Ambazonia social media activists, to mobilize. That is the only thing the UNPO has asked Ambazonians to do, mobilize everybody. As I said, this is an Ambazonian affair. Whether we like it or not, there would have been somebody to take the lead to take Ambazonia into UNPO. This time is the AGC, but AGC is representing Ambazonia. It is purely an Ambazonian affair, and that is even why the side event, I had to go and choose the deputy country head of Switzerland to represent the Ambazonia women at the UN Human Rights Council side event. So the UNPO is doing a lot for Ambazonia, and there's also some trainings coming up, which in due course I will advertise it. The training is not only, please, I said, it's not only for AGC members, it is for Ambazonians. For those who can, will be able to make it. Those trainings are very, very important. There's also the approval of the advocacy strategy document, which is going to be adopted also in Geneva during the, which we have planned. There's a lot of, and it was going to run from October 1, 2018 to October 1, 2019. It is an eventful pack full of planning documentation that will go to the public for Ambazonians to review and to see that we are making maximum use of our membership at the UNPO. Thank you.
All right, thank you, SSS. Spokes, can you briefly talk about what is going to be happening in Geneva?
I like the way you're trying to rush it up. Thank you very much, Abu Free. And just like the SS said, UNPO is an open door for Ambazonia in so many aspects. Just like we were able to present the Ambazonian case during the Human Rights Council pre-session, that is the same thing that we're going to be doing in Geneva on the 13th of this month. That is on Thursday. So like the SS also said, this is going to be on women, representing women in issue of inclusivity and intersectionality, which therefore means they're trying to look at the difficulties that women are facing. They're trying to overcome that difficulty. They're trying to create an environment of inclusiveness for women. They're trying to, in oppressed society. So those are the kind of things that they're trying to do. They want to bring out that the active role that women are actually playing in the society that is actually not recognized, and also to encourage women to be able to take up these active roles. And Ambazonia representing, us representing, sending a representative in that event is definitely going to be talking about the Ambazonian woman, relating it to what is happening on ground zero, tabling our case to the world, and also encouraging women to be able to take active part in all of this. So they're really trying to look at issues of discrimination, and our representative that will be going would definitely be putting out, articulating the case of Ambazonia to the world, and also letting the world know about the power of the Ambazonian woman. So I just want to bring this up quick because there's been a lot on social media about our delegate that was our supposed delegates that was supposed to represent us in UNPO at the site event that eventually indicated her interest not to continue with the process. Like the SS said, and like we've been saying in this show, this event is about Ambazonia. UNPO is about Ambazonia. The flag or the name that is in that on the website is not an AGC flag, neither is it that of ARC or any other movement, but that of Ambazonia, which therefore means if anybody is stepping in Geneva at the Human Rights Council on Thursday to talk, that person is talking on behalf of Ambazonia. And people should not be disappointed that it's so, I mean, the event is so close and maybe we will not have another representative. Oh no, Ambazonia has no shortage of them. We are made up of fine brains and courageous women, women who can, if you wake them in their sleep, they will articulate the Ambazonian cause very well and do it to the satisfaction of everybody. So we respect anybody's decision. We respect Comrade Celestine's decision to step back. And we are also calling on Ambazonians to give their maximum support to the next delegate that is stepping in there to talk about Ambazonia. This is all about Ambazonia. You must be able to keep aside differences and look up to Ambazonia because we are representing Ambazonia. So we shouldn't be dismayed that we will not have a representative. We do. Ambazonia is one of them. We have courageous women, women with tenacity and women with brains that will articulate our cause and make us all proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, spokeslady. I'm going to call on, we are already out of time, so we have to round up, we have to close, but I'm going to give the floor to a woman of God to close it up for us, please.
Oh, okay. Once again, I really want to thank all the SS and all the people who have worked to see this project come to pass, and say God bless you. And I want us to understand that we are going through a process. Some people catch up later, but we have to try to make it workable by not being insolent and rude. We can present our concerns and our differences in a civil manner. And that is good enough. And we are very thankful that we have another delegate stepping in who is ready to take her flight across the ocean to go and represent us. And we hope that our people can understand that we are advocating for a collective good of Ambazonia. And so I very much thank all of you for your resilience. I know the agency has gone through a lot of persecution and pressure, even from within, than it's gone from without. And I want to thank and salute your tenacity, your resilience, and I encourage you not to give up and not to lose hope. Just like Moses said to Caleb and Joshua, be very strong and of good courage. Just as God said to Joshua and Caleb, be very strong and of good courage. I would like to tell you all, be very strong and of good courage. The storm will soon be over. God is in control. And as he leads the way, everything will go down history and we will emerge with a glorious story. Thank you all. God bless you, viewers. Keep inviting and make sure you share this video wide. And even those who were insulting on this platform, just pull up your sleeves and take your hoe and get to the farm. Your contribution is highly solicited. We are begging you, because it's not every child. There are some children that you need to beg them to go with you to the farm. We want to beg you, stop fighting in the quarter. Just pick your hoe and join us. After insulting on this video, please share it wide. Let the message go so people can understand where we are at this point. So thank you for even coming and being part of it. God bless you.
All right, thank you, woman of God. Thank you, SSS. Thank you, spokes. Thank you, viewers, for coming and watching with us or discussing with us today. We do appreciate you. And to our fellow brothers and sisters on Ground Zero, we just want to keep on telling you that we are in total support. We are here, and we will continue to give you all our support as the need arises. So we thank you all for putting your lives or for putting yourselves in front of the barrel of a gun, because you alone are taking the bullet and you alone are taking the pain. So we say thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you that are watching right now, as you switch, please switch to 6th page, the Commander-in-Chief of the AGC. He will be coming up right now. So thank you all, and you all have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
See you on the other side.
See you, Sissy.